All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Friday's Triple Witch edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare of the day, the first hour. Well, Dennis, a quiet 5-point range in the S&Ps. Are we going to have an uneventful expiration?
Well, from an individual news perspective, maybe, but these things can always be kind of funny, and you can get some wild opens as people are trying to take off their options positions as the institutional order flow is usually pretty high on the open. So I think you're going to get some volatility near the open.
Okay, ExxonMobil kind of had a strange day yesterday. Of course, there's all this talk of releasing some of the strategic oil reserves and the effects that's going to have on crude oil and the oil companies. It broke down a little bit, made a new low for the week at 85 and a quarter, bounced back to settle at 86.09. Resistance has moved down in that stock. We were really focusing on the $87 level earlier in the week. I guess we'll still keep an eye on that. The 9-day high at 87.09 and Tuesdays and Wednesdays high just in that level too. 86.20, we're trading above that. That's yesterday's high. So look for support from 86.09, which was the close.
I like those two resistance numbers too, Joel. 86.35, we were trading up a little bit here. So I still like that 87, 86.93. 86.83. If we were to get back up there, I think you find some sellers because after that breakdown day yesterday, the longs will be nervous. So if they were long this stock, they're probably going to be selling it up in that area. And you know how the high frequency guys work. They find those sellers sell in front of it. So expect some resistance from 86, probably 80, and all the way to 87.
On our next component, Apple Computer, I initiated coverage yesterday when it was trading at for the 600 target. Lo and behold, Dennis, I was right. 600.
You got the 600, Joel.
0.1. Boy, you had to have your order in there quickly to get that. Made an all-time high. Just had a mild 25-point sell. Made a low at 575.40 before rebounding to close at 585.86. Used that close 585.56 as support. I do have a good swing number here since we're finally in the middle of the range. 588.04 is an excellent swing number today. If it stays above there, good to go north, test that $600 level again. Below 588.04, we have the close, 585.56, and nothing after that till Wednesday's low at 575.40.
This thing could go anywhere, Joel. It's like basically going to the casino and just betting it all on red or black if you're trading this thing here because it really could go anywhere. Obviously, the iPad sales coming out today giving it a little bit of lift here this morning. It's up $3, but man, who knows where this thing goes? Above 600, the bulls are in charge, but as long as it stays below that 600, $600.01 being the all-time high, exactly where it opened yesterday. It wouldn't surprise me if that high held for a little while here, and we did see some selling pressure. But it wouldn't surprise me if the thing took out and went, above 600 again too. It's an unpredictable stock. It's had this crazy move, basically 200 moves in a matter of or 200 points in a matter of 3 months. Who knows where this thing's going? I really don't advise our traders to trade it at all.
Okay, moving on to our next component, IBM continues to make new all-time highs. Yesterday making an all-time high at 208.16 with a 206 close. There are your levels to focus on. On the downside, I have support. I'm moving my support up to all the way to 205.64. I would use that as a swing level. Below there, we could be looking at Thursday's low, which was 204.74.
I'm still, even though I was saying, not to trade Apple, I think Apple's your best indicator when you're trading any tech stock, including IBM right now. Keep an eye on Apple today. If Apple starts to break down, expect some of the other tech stocks to follow. If Apple decides to rally and take out that 600, expect the other tech stocks to follow. So I think the best thing you can do if you're trading a stock like IBM or Microsoft for that matter is to keep an eye on Apple.
Okay, Chevron Corporation activity very similar to ExxonMobil. Did sell off Made a low at 109.46. Couldn't quite get to Monday's low, which was 109.16. Rebounded to close at 110.13. That's pretty close to the high of the day, 110.14. Currently trading under that level. Let's use that 110.14 as minor resistance. And then Thursday's highs back up around the former all-time high at 110.93. The stock has made a couple new highs during the week, but has not been able to bust out like Apple or IBM.
It was a real tough day for the stock yesterday after making a new all-time high the day before. That makes me scared. You could almost argue that we got this little island top here where you had, and or not an island top, where you get this like little head and shoulders, just a 3-day pattern here, which isn't very nice looking on the chart. I'm kind of scared to be long this thing, and if it started to break down significantly below 110, it might not be a bad idea to try a short, maybe using the settlement 110.03, as a stop. But this is a tricky one to trade.
Okay, Microsoft continues its assault on the $33 level. If you're holding the 33 calls here, you're holding your breath here, looking for a pop. 32.94, settled back at 32.85. That 32.94 is really the only thing you have in as far as resistance goes in this stock. Above that, of course, a little psychological 33. You'll find some resistance, but really opens up after that, perhaps to the 33.5 level.
Yeah, another tricky one to really call. Again, I'm going to just say keep an eye on Apple if you're trading Microsoft. But that $33 should be big here. It's putting a lid on it, even in the pre-market. 32.92. You got an all-time high at 32.94, and the whole numbers are always big 33. So call this whole 32.90 to 33 area major resistance. If we can get above 33, and if Apple can start breaking out again, then maybe the stock can move higher. But until that happens, I'd probably be leaning towards being a seller at this level.
Okay, GE woke up out of its almost year-long slumber here. It's finally broken out to the upside. 2022 Thursday, trading above that in the pre-market. Look for support from 2022 down to the close at 2016. Major support comes in at 2007. We'll use that as a swing number. Coming back, looking at things on the upside, Dennis. Finally, it looks like this thing may go to the May high here of 20.42.
The stock is marching here, Joel. Just looking at the price action over the last couple of weeks. You had this breakdown through that 1950 level, getting actually down to as low as 1832. So it was a pretty big breakdown. I'm sorry, it was 1850 level was breaking down through, getting down as low as 1832. What that did was it shook out all the longs, and everybody starts to put on shorts thinking, oh, it's breakdown. But it was a fake down. It wasn't a breakdown, it was a fake down. And what happens is you catch all these shorts who are basically banking on that the stock's moving lower because it had that one breakdown day, and you catch them all short, and then they never really had a chance to cover because it went straight back up to 19, consolidates there for a few days. The shorts are like, okay, well maybe it'll come back down, and then starts marching up on them again, and it's just taken off. And that's how bottoms are made in stocks, is basically catching the shorts. You get a little bit of a short squeeze happening now, and now you actually have a breakout happening, and actually follow through with institutional investors probably coming to play now. So I think the stock, you got to buy pullbacks on this thing.
Yep, and interestingly, Dennis, it was some fundamental news that kind of sparked this rally after it dipped under the 1850 level. The company came out, reaffirmed guidance, told the street, hey, everything's okay. And really, since then, it's been off to the races. Procter & Gamble, after making that big move earlier in the week, is run into an institutional seller at $68. That guy just won't go away. Tuesdays and Wednesdays high at 67, 90, and 95. We had a close at 67, 68. Very, very tight range here. I'd say 67.5. We're still good to go to take out that 68 level between 67.50 and 68. It's just a battle of shorts trying to get out and high-frequency traders trying to push it down. I guess take out that those 600,000 at 68.
Yeah, until that 68 goes, I think you got to be a seller of this stock. When 68 trades, I wouldn't want to be short the thing, though. It could actually go quite quickly, so you just got to be careful. If this thing does take out the 68, you probably don't want to be short the stock. I don't know if I necessarily want to be long, because look at our tractor beam types of plays. You really don't know, but I think you can be short this thing fairly safely until 68 is taken out. We do have an option expiration. Wouldn't surprise me if it opened right into that resistance area and gave you an opportunity to possibly try a short.
Okay, AT&T did break through the double bottom in the 3142 area. Didn't get very far though, only got to 3135 before recovering to settle 1 penny off the high of the day, 3164 close, 3165 high. You do have the high of the week to take a peek at, 3180. That was Wednesday's high, and of course the 30 level, that's the 52-week high, and that's backed up right by I'm sure a lot of size at 32 and AT&T.
Yeah, at 3180 all the way to 32 is going to be major resistance for this stock. But we've seen, in the last month, the resistance levels. You get the stocks get this march on, and they do eventually take them out. Whether that happens here or not, I don't know. But you can guarantee you're going to see some pretty good high frequency resistance in the 3190s, probably leaning on that 32 level, where I would imagine there'll be some major institutional selling pressure, especially since the 52-week highs up there at 3194. So you have a couple of catalysts that those high frequency guys will be watching, and I'd expect them to be sellers in the 3190s, meaning maybe you want to be a seller in the 3180s. Above 32, I'd probably not want to be short the stock.
Okay, J&J, the quietest stock on the street, dip below the 65 level yesterday, making a low at 64.85. Recovered to settle at 65.07. You have a double close there. Wednesday's close 1 penny above that at 65.08. Also Tuesdays and Wednesdays lows right there in the 65 level. Just looks like it's trying to hold the 65 level so it can go up and test the triple top here from Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays highs, 65.38 to 44. If in fact J&J could clear that level, we might get a peek at that 66.
I'm starting to see. I see those three tops you're talking about, Joel, and I'm starting to see some size accumulate in the 65.50 area. So maybe those high frequency guys, maybe there's some size we don't see there too. Maybe they can see it. They seem to see everything. So maybe they're the sellers in the 65.30s as they're leaning on that whole 65.40 to 65.50 area. So keep that area in mind, as I will call it decent resistance. The major resistance is up here at 66. I don't know if I see it going there today, with the trading range being pretty muted in the stock lately, but you never know. You might, if the stock really went into for a run, you want to be aware that that is major resistance up there.
Okay, and the final of the Big Ten here, Pfizer Corporation, starting to do at the 22 level like it did at the 21 level. Did peak above there on Wednesday, got to 22.10. Yesterday's high was capped at 22, 21.91 close. Just right in the middle of yesterday's range. I think the sellers are going to be stepping up the beat here at the $22 level. Be short above there. Not much risk up to Wednesday's high, 22.10. High of the recent move, 22.17. Coming back on the downside, as long as we're holding above this 21.81, still good to press up against that 22 level, but looks like 22 is putting a cap on this move.
Yeah, it does, Joel, and it did. If we go back here into January, we tried to take out this 22 multiple times. We took it out once, got as high as 22.17, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 tops there in early January, late December. So it doesn't surprise me that we have a few tops here in the 22 area again. Whether it does the same thing, and that does put a lid on it long term, I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if we had a few more days trading where your highs are in that low 22s or 22 area.
Okay, just recapping the S&Ps, bumping up against that magical $1,400 level. 1399.50 has been the Globex high. If that stands as the high today, which seems unlikely, we have a downside target of 1386.75. The current low stands at 1394. If that holds as the low of the day, we have an upside target of 1407 and a quarter. As long as we stay above the close, 1396 mid-range here, we're good to go north. That's the SPU and Big Ten analysis. We got CPI coming back in 2 minutes, and we'll be back with your market movers.